So hello and welcome to my first podcast. I'm a little bit nervous when you look at me, baby. Okay. So, since I already reached 22 subscribers, I decided it's time to level up, to elevate, like they say. And I got this set up. So, you get a professional, semi-professional podcast with me telling you very important things. And what I'm going to tell you in my first episode is what I actually learned from all the Bali healers and why I'm never going to drink coffee again or coffee in general. Let me start with the episode number 1. Who are the healers, or why am I actually seeing them? I'm always interested in spirituality. In life, I'm very numbers person, just tell me how many times should I do something, and I try to put numbers and statistics into everything, even into interhuman relationships. But I'm very attracted to spirituality. I'm doing esoteric tantric yoga for almost 2 years now. Have a teacher there. I meditate 2 times a day. And since I'm in Bali, I also go to do all these practices like breath work, hypnotherapy, and go to see these kind of healers or seers, however you want to call them. And who are these people? These people are basically people who are gonna charge you around $200 to tell you that you already have everything that you need, and that's it, and that you're okay. It's sort of like my plan B. If my trading and podcast are going to fail, I'm going to become a healer, and I'm going to charge people $200 to tell them everything's going to be okay. You already have everything that you need. There we go. I actually wonder if there's there's somebody who comes to this healer and the healer is oh, nothing is going to be okay. You're just fucked. You can just leave now, and still charge them $200. I would love to see that. Okay. So what were my expectations? I will be honest with you, my expectations, and something that I'm always searching in life or spiritual path is sort of shortcut that I just do something and some things are going to miraculously going to get fixed. Somebody's going to, touch me, for example, touch your spine and your relationship is going to get fixed, or you're just going to do some pose or something and the money starts flowing into your life, or you're just going to say some affirmation and next day you're the head of the biggest crypto fund in the world. However, as much as I'm looking for it, and I would really love this to be possible, because that would be freaking awesome, wouldn't it be, right? But that's not how the universe actually works. That's not my experience of how things are. Usually that the universe, what I understand about universe or God or however you want to call it, is it's endlessly loving, and endless love doesn't mean that you're gonna get what you ask right away easily, because then you don't know how you got it, and when you lose it you're pretty much fucked. So what the universe actually gives you is lessons. Gift from a God or from a universe can be actually a lesson in life. You will learn how to do it yourself. So it very rarely, I had some experiences yes, I did some practice, I did some 1 month of some dedicated yoga practice, but still I put in a lot of work, and then something happened. Actually, I did 1 month of practice for a love to appear in my life, and the day I finished this practice, I was doing 70 minutes of yoga, especially poses for that. That's the day I met my girlfriend. And we're together for 7 months, and so far we haven't killed each other. So I guess that's a good thing. But yes, back to the point. So this is why I'm seeing the healers, because I was sort of looking or hoping for a magical shortcut. Somebody's gonna put your hands on you, and your confidence is gonna get fixed. Everything is gonna get fixed. But the I don't want to say the sad reality, but it is the sad reality. The sad reality of the whole thing is that each time I go to this some sort of practice, after that the problem I wanted to deal with actually blows up in my life. So basically I did breath work to because I heard like, oh, like if you want to like build up your confidence, like breath work is amazing for it. So I go and I do the breath work a couple of times, and I expected that it's just going to get fixed during the session. Like I'm going to be breathing very nicely, you know, nice breath in, out, and like I'm just going to walk out a new person. And while the breath work, I'm not going to go into the details, was very interesting experience, and I keep going there, keep doing it. What happened was like next day, suddenly I started to like go around Bali, and I look at that guy and I'm just like, wow, like he's got bigger muscles than me, and like this guy is like more successful than me, and this guy is like, yeah, he's better looking than me, and suddenly like I just felt like shit, and I was just like, what's going on? Like I just wanted to fix my confidence, and I feel like shit. I literally like a couple hours into this, I was just like, why is my girlfriend even with me? Like, why is she even with me? Because like there's like all of these people around which are like better than me. Like, what the hell? And I was like really like hurt. I was just like in pain. Like, what's going on? And this was exactly like the manifestation of what I actually asked for, because at some point the pain was like, the insecurity was so great that day that I was just like, okay, like this has to stop. And I came to some realization that really helped me. Like, no matter how better somebody is in like one area of their life, you know, they're, I don't know, bigger muscles, better athletics, smarter, wiser, better looking, more successful, whatever. All of these, there are people like that in out there, from all of us, of course, always. And I just realized, yes, they might be, but I would never change my place with them. I would never want to be that guy. You know, I'm so happy being Sam, and I'm so happy having, you know, the skills, the knowledge, the practice, the everything that I have in my life. I'm so grateful for being me. And even though these people can be better than me in these areas, like I don't want to be them. I never want to be them. So this was like a realization number one. And then I went to this is like breathwork. That's like a little scientific. And I will also tell you about like one of the wildest one, you know, it was just like I was looking for some like very, you know, unorthodox, like very non-traditional healers in Bali, and I found this woman, and I walked into her office, and she starts to burp really loud. She's like, buh, buh, buh. I'm just like, okay, well, this is going well. This is a little wild. Like, yeah, this is gonna be interesting. And I told her, you know, like, hey, I came to Bali, and like what I thought is gonna be my career sort of like very changed. Like the fund I used to trade for, they finished, and now I have to do everything again. Like, so can you just do some healing? Because I just want to. I was just like, I don't feel like I need to be fixed, but just give me power to go through all of this. Like just starting trading by myself, starting the course. Getting investors for the little fund that we created. I think officially I shouldn't even call it fund. Officially, it's like social experiment that we created. And I was just like, just give me strength, you know, somehow. And once again, I was hoping that she's gonna like put her magical hands on me, or, you know, like just do some magical words and it's gonna be fixed. But what she actually did was just like, nah, like you're not that kind of person. Like you need to see numbers. So basically, like she pull out some tool, and she's just like a paper and pen, and tell me like what is important in your life. What are your goals? What are your short-term actions? What are your long-term actions? I'm just like, really, I'm here with this like almost like a witch, or like a good sort of kind of witch. And I'm expecting, you know, like spirits and ghosts to be flying around, and she's making a business plan for me right here. And that was also like the point when I realized what they always say, like you already have all that you're looking for. So maybe they're right, because she built a business plan that I already had, like something very similar I already had from my business coach, from like a big business like sort of program that I attend. And I was just like, okay, well, this is it. And I was just like, oh, do I have to do something about it? And she's like, no, just like hide it somewhere, and then just like pull it out in 3 months and see what happens. Like have a little trust in the universe. And this was another big lesson from which I actually got, because like sometimes I'm pushing things like, is it here yet? Is it here yet? What more can I do? What more can I do? And instead of just starting something and waiting patiently for it to become more successful or something, I'm just like, okay, can I do this? Can I do more promotion? Can I do this? Can I do this? And I keep doing until I explode, I completely explode. With a burnout, I'm just like, oh, let me get one more mentor, one more advisor, let me work more hours, and it just ends well. Instead of just putting, like the right actions, like, okay, I set up this, let me have a faith in the process, just for today, I will do these simple actions for this business and let's see what comes out. And that's so important for me. Because sometimes I just want to push things like so hard to instead of just giving them time, instead of just like giving them time to like mature and develop by themselves. And also I have a like computer here because I wanted to do like some drawings for you. And so far I don't know what to draw. So maybe we will not use the computer drawings in this episode. So this was like another lesson, that like sometimes, yes, all I have to do is just like keep doing what I'm already doing, not looking to do more, just have faith that the fruits of my work are coming without necessarily putting more and studying more and just like pushing more, which can be very hard for men. Because I hate, like, let me tell you, I hate those like time periods when I live in a question, when I'm just like, oh, so is this business going to be successful or not? Well, at this stage, I don't know. All I can do is look for the right marketing partners at this point that I don't know. And I would love to know, I would love to hire 50 people which I can't afford. And I would love to put like 10 study marketing course and I would love to study product, blah, blah, blah bullshit. But no, sometimes all that's necessary, just do the right things, give it time and see what happens. And also like very, very, this is almost like lesson number 3. Like I started this podcast, then I wanted to give you just like one lesson. And now I'm actually giving you 3 lessons. So look at me how I'm getting into this. And lesson number 3, which I actually got from the healers, is that sometimes like my life is already full, or I would say like differently. Like the only reason why I don't have the things that I want is me. There's nothing outside of me. Like I really don't believe it. If maybe you have a different life, maybe you have a different experience, but like I take it like I'm the only reason why I'm not millionaire yet. I'm the only reason why I'm, like not doing this yet, or why I'm not competing in CrossFit yet, or I'm the only reason behind it. And instead of going to a healer or like do some sort of like these spiritual practices and things happening just like this, what happens is the opposite. Like I ask, like, okay, show me how I can grow in this business. And I come back home and that business blows up. That like existing form of the business or the worst case scenario happens. And I'm just like, what the shit? I just paid somebody like, money and I did this practice. I invested my money, time, and this shit blows up anyway. But then like with a little bit of perspective, I can see like, oh, it was always defective. Like I was always doing some sort of like defects there. Like, I was doing some mistakes there. And in order to get what I want, this has to blow up. I need to see that, like, oh, this is like risking too much, or this is taking things too quickly. You have to be more careful, more, these kind of things. I have to see them. So, or not just to talk about business, but also just like coming home and having a very uncomfortable conversation with my girlfriend. That kind of conversation is like, oh, I can't take this anymore, which is just like, oh, I just did this work to fix my relationship and now I come home, ready to have like the best relationship ever. And this is what comes up, like this sort of like uncomfortable like conversation. And yes, that's the case, because if you don't have uncomfortable conversations about these things, like you're gonna suffocate yourself in a relationship, or you will become like best friends or roommates, but that will never have, like, it will not have anything to do with actual loving relationships. So literally, like there was when I was like, I had like another like breathwork session like scheduled at the end of my Christmas vacation. I just canceled it. I was just like, oh, like I can't have another thing like blowing up in my life. Like let's just focus on what is already blowing up currently. So this is yeah, this is basically what happened, and I really feel like it's like this is why I love living in Bali, because it seems like Bali calls out my bullshit like way faster. You know, like when I do something wrong, it blows up to my face right away. So it's not like, oh, it's gonna somehow function for a year, for 6 months, and then no. If I make a mistake, the worst thing that can happen is gonna happen right away, and it's not a bad thing. It's like I'm really called out on my bullshit and on my mistakes right away, and that helps me grow way faster. And now also let me share like the little point, like why I actually decided to quit drinking coffee and how is it connected to this. Because all of this experience helped me understand that feeling pain and discomfort is very important in my life. It's very important because that's actually where I make changes. That's the breaking point for me. Because if I'm doing a mistake and I'm very comfortable, nobody tells me about it, I keep doing it. And I keep doing it and I'm keep limiting my growth. That's exactly the reason, why I'm not like multimillionaire yet, because I do some mistakes or there are some things I'm not doing. And thanks to feeling bad about the mistakes or let them blowing up to my face, I can fix them sooner. I can get to my goal way sooner. And what coffee does, in my experience, I'm not gonna, be fighting with like, oh, that this person is drinking coffee and they're like way more successful than you are. Well, good for them. I'm just gonna share my personal experience. And in my personal experience, I don't have a middle ground in coffee. So it's not like 1 or 2 cups a day. For me, if I drink coffee, we're talking 8 to 10 cups. And sometimes we're talking Starbucks. So I'm very extreme. And coffee, literally when I'm uncomfortable and I drink coffee, like I'm just like, oh, this is like difficult. It's sort of like numbing my fear and numbing it's just like, it makes me feel more pumped. It makes me feel like more excited. But do I want to be more pumped or more excited? Or do I actually want to feel that, oh, this is a serious thing. Let me approach it seriously because I'm worried about this. I feel the fear. And how do I actually overcome the fear? Because I can be like worried, like, oh, this is maybe like risking too much in trading. And I can drink coffee and I can be like, yeah, but let's go, let's do it. Or I can be like, oh, this is very uncomfortable. Maybe I'm not ready to trade at this level. Maybe let me put the risk to the half and I can execute trades way better because I feel these discomfort. So for me, drinking coffee is like escaping from the discomfort, like getting pumped or something. It's like escaping from your intuition. That's what it is. Because if I drink that coffee, I'm like a machine, I just like, oh, yeah, let's do this. This is on my schedule, so I have to do this. Instead of like listening to myself and how I feel about things and my intuition, and I don't want to be like forcing myself into things I don't want to do. If the coffee is like me, like I will use the word getting high on a coffee, like drinking free coffees, and then I feel like, yeah, I want to do this. Well, maybe that's not the thing I want to do in reality. Like, is it? Like that's just bullshit. That's just you being high on caffeine and just super pumped, and you just want to do something because you have that in your system. So this is why I decided like I quit. It's been like 2 weeks and I'm getting like so much more energy, and I'm actually focusing on the more right things, not just being like this racehorse, like they call it like a tunnel vision. And if you're like a racehorse, have like this tunnel vision just going straight forward, you will never grow. You're in your comfort zone. Like if you do like your daily grind, that means you are in the comfort zone. You will never get out of it. And I think like doing the things that are scary and like, or like revisiting or like having more feedback from your life and feeling fear is only helpful for the growth. So this is I think all I wanted to say, this is the end of my first podcast. I haven't drawn anything. I have the whiteboard here. I'm recording the screen. It didn't happen. So for all of you just like who just joined, like to see my artwork, and you missed out, I'm very sorry. I will be sure to do it next time, because this time I was really focused on the talking. It's quite interesting. Okay, that's it. The first episode of Trading with Purpose podcast is over. And I'm out. Baby, we're done. How do I stop this thing? What a life.